Resilience and reinvention, overcoming challenges with faith, therapy, and grit. Hello, everyone. I'm so honored to be here today. When women come together, something powerful happens. We laugh, we cry, we lift each other up, and today I hope to do just that. My name is Kim Thompson, and I wear many hats: single mother, caregiver, sister, auntie, educator, and award winning baker. My journey has been anything but easy, but every challenge has shaped the person I am today. From growing up in Southside Jamaica, Queens, to overcoming hardships that could have broken me, I've learned the power of resilience, faith, and pushing forward no matter what. Today, I stand here not just as a baker, but as a woman who has fought silent battles, taken risks, and found success in unexpected places. My story is proof that even in the face of struggle, you can rise, reinvent yourself, and create something beautiful. There were moments when I questioned everything: my path, my purpose, my ability to keep going. But every setback was just a setup for something greater. For 14 years, I dedicated my career to higher education, working at NYU while earning my master's in dance education in the higher professions. I loved mentoring students, creating community, and supporting their journeys. But life has a way of leading us down unexpected paths. During the pandemic, like many people, I found myself searching for an outlet, and that's when I returned to baking. I made dessert boxes for Mother's Day and delivered them to mothers in my neighborhood. What started as a way to cope and bring brightness to other women during a time of devastation and uncertainty soon turned into a business. The feedback I received was uplifting and exactly what I needed during that tumultuous time. I began perfecting my recipes, taking on custom orders, and before I knew it, Kimmy Cakes RVA was born. My passion for baking and one of my strengths quest competition led me to compete at the Virginia State Fair when I won multiple awards for my desserts. That recognition opened a door I never could have imagined, landing me on Netflix Blue Ribbon Baking Championship. Competing on a national stage was surreal, but it reinforced what I already knew: taking chances, embracing change, and following your passion can lead to incredible opportunities. Now I bring that same passion and dedication to everything I do, whether it's baking, business, or inspiring others to chase their dreams, because you never know where life will take you next. I want you to know that no matter what you're going through, you are capable of overcoming it. Your past does not define you, your resilience does. The journey of reinvention, finding purpose through challenges. As I mentioned earlier, for 14 years, I dedicated my career to higher education. At the age of 34, I became a first-time homeowner in New York, a milestone I was incredibly proud of. Around 2015, while working full-time, I started selling cupcakes as a side hustle to assist with the additional homeownership bills. If you're a homeowner, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Baking was always a passion of mine, but things naturally slowed down a year later when I became a mother to an amazing boy who changed my world. After I had my son in 2016, it wasn't until his first birthday that I truly rediscovered my love for baking when I made him a Mickey Mouse cake. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse was his jam at the time, and I wanted to do something special for my baby boy. The excitement in his eyes when he saw his cake made my heart smile. That moment of joy with my son reignited something inside of me and led me back to baking. In 2017, I was diagnosed with anxiety and postpartum depression. The lack of support from my partner intensified my struggles and I was holding on by a thread. Let me tell you, by a thread. In 2018, life took an unexpected turn. I started seeing a therapist, and during one of our sessions, he warned me that things were getting out of control in my household and he feared for my safety. I was already planning my exit strategy because I could no longer endure the mental and emotional abuse that my partner was putting me through. 3 days later, I was physically assaulted. When my son was just 1.5 years old, I made the hardest decision of my life. The next day after the assault, I packed up some of my belongings and I left my home and my partner due to domestic abuse. I walked away from everything that I built, starting over in a studio apartment with minimal furniture, just enough food to feed my son, and struggling to pay bills. For a year, I tried to push through, but I knew I could no longer maintain my mental health. So I made another difficult choice. I left my stable career at NYU and moved to Virginia to create a better future for my son. I thought I had my career mapped out, but life had a different recipe for me. I had to learn to trust the process. God knows the battles I had to fight, both the ones people saw and the ones I suffered through in silence. Let me rewind the time back to 2013. One morning, I got up to use the bathroom as my partner was getting ready for work. He looked at me and said, "What's wrong with your face?" Half asleep, I responded, "Nothing, what's wrong with yours?" and went right back to bed. A few hours later, I got dressed, did my normal morning routine, and headed to work. When I arrived, my coworker took a look at me and asked, "What's wrong with your face?" I gave him the same smart response that I gave my partner, "What's wrong with your face?" He didn't laugh. He said, "Kim, I'm serious. Go check it out." I went into the bathroom, looked in the mirror, and the left side of my face looked like Rocky Balboa. My face was drooping. My left eye was wide open. I couldn't even blink. I had traveled all the way from Brooklyn on the number 4 train to the West Village and had no idea. My coworker went with me to the NYU hospital where they ran tests to rule out a stroke. When everything came back negative, they diagnosed me with Bell's palsy. I was devastated, confused, and depressed. I asked God, why me? My face was sagging and my left eye wouldn't close. So I had to walk around New York City wearing sunglasses. Okay, so let me set the scene. Picture me walking down the street. It's 7 p.m., black darkness outside, wearing sunglasses. I swear you would have thought that I was on somebody's stakeout. People probably thought that I was just another crazy person that blended in the New York City scene. Don't ask me how I got Bell's palsy, because to this day, 12 years later, I still don't know. But I can't let it stop me because I do know I'm that girl. In 2020, I experienced a moment that shook me to my core. While on the phone with the 911 operator, I watched my aunt, the woman who raised me through my teenage years and sent me off to college, look me in my eyes, squeeze my hand, take her last breath, and nod. That nod was her way of telling me I'm okay. This is the end. That moment triggered a wave of depression that I was not prepared for. Then in 2021, I almost lost my mother to a heart aneurysm. In 2022, my father passed away from Parkinson's disease. And just when I thought I was catching my breath, 2023 brought another storm. My mother underwent open heart surgery, and I lost my vision due to a detached retina from my cataract procedure. As if that wasn't enough, August 2024, my mother became an amputee. While sitting in her hospital room waiting for her to come out of surgery, I started losing vision in my right eye. Another detached retina. Go figure. The following day, I was on the local news channel live promoting my Netflix show with one eye. As they say, the show must go on, and it did. Immediately following the interview, I went to the retina specialist, and my emergency surgery was scheduled for the following day. I just came off my press run, And business was about to be booming, like booming, but negative. I was unable to bake or drive for 2 months because I just had retina surgery on my right eye, which is my dominant eye. Due to the Bell's palsy, my left eye had extensive nerve damage, and the doctor was unable to insert a toric lens, which corrects astigmatism, in my eye during the cataract surgery. Over the course of a year and a half, my left eye developed a tremendous amount of scar tissue that blurred my vision. So I would say my vision was about 30% or so. This past February, I had a quick laser procedure that took every bit of 15 seconds to remove the scar tissue. I wish they would have told me that a long time ago, because I would have been better and I would have been able to see out of my eye. But John 9:25, I was blind, but now I see. Life has thrown me challenge after challenge, but through it all, I've learned that resilience isn't about avoiding struggles. It's about facing them head on. Some battles are loud and some are silent, but every single one has shaped me into the woman I am today. So I just want to let you know that the hardest seasons of your life are preparing you for something greater. So keep going. I'm going to say that again. The hardest seasons of your life are preparing you for something greater. So keep on going. So I want to touch on faith and therapy. In the Black community, seeking therapy is often seen as a stigma. But let me tell you, if it wasn't for my therapist in New York, I don't know what I would have done. I needed help badly, and it wasn't the kind of help my family or friends could provide. They didn't know what was going on at the time with my partner. And honestly, I wasn't in a space where I could fully share. Being a single mother, a caregiver, and an entrepreneur isn't a daunting task. Add trying to balance and maintain my mental health on top of that, and you have a recipe for complete exhaustion. Therapy gave me the space to unpack my struggles without judgment. My therapist helped me see that I wasn't alone, that what I was feeling was valid, and that I deserved the support. Fast forward to today, and my weekly therapy sessions are non-negotiable. They keep me on track, help me sort through the millions of thoughts that are racing in my head, and remind me that I don't have to carry everything by myself. Faith and therapy go hand in hand. God puts the right people in your path when you need them the most. Seeking help isn't a weakness. It is the greatest act of strength. I used to think that being strong all the time, that I had to be strong all the time. I used to think that I had to be strong all the time. But strength isn't about carrying everything alone. It's about knowing when to lean on God, therapy, and your village. So building resilience and the recipe for strength. So baking taught me patience, precision, and the importance of adjusting when things don't go as planned. Sometimes your cake falls, but that doesn't mean you throw away the whole batter. You tweak, you learn, and like Aaliyah says, you just dust yourself off and you try again. If there's one thing baking has taught me, it's that you can't rush the process. You can turn the oven up higher to make a cake bake faster, but it'll just burn. Life has a way of reminding me of that lesson over and over again. During my first retinal detachment healing process, I was in the middle of being casted for the Netflix Blue Ribbon Baking Championship show. I had to do interviews with production while wearing an eye patch. To break the ice, I jokingly introduced myself as One-Eyed Willie from the Goonies. Of course, they got a little kiki from it, but they were a little skeptical about my condition, but I reassured them that my gas bubble would deflate before it was time for me to travel. For those that don't know, when a gas bubble is inserted into the eye, you can't fly or be at high altitude. And that is a procedure that you have to have in order to reattach your retina. They must enter the gas bubble. I had to wear a green medical wristband as a constant reminder, but people always thought that I went to the club the night before and would always question me like, why you have on that band? Where did you go? It was a little embarrassing, but I had to always pretty much explain to them and give them the disclaimer that I had a gas bubble in my eye. And that was always an interesting conversation for them. I think they really enjoyed that because it was something new and they never heard anything of that. So I prayed hard and trusted the process. And I secured one of the spots. Just 2 days before my flight, my doctor cleared me for travel because the gas bubble had finally deflated. Here's the tea. People have no clue that I was competing with a newly attached retina and could barely see with all of the lights that were shining in my face. I had cameras here, there, lights here, there. It was ridiculous, and it was a huge amount of stress. But but God. It was nothing but God. Because what is meant for me will always be. When I had my second retinal detachment, I was forced to slow down. For 2 months, I couldn't bake. I couldn't drive. And my independence was stripped away. My son had just started his soccer season. And for someone like me who likes to do things on my time, it was humbling. I had to rely on my brother, my village, to step in and help. That experience taught me patience. Patience with myself, patience with my healing, and patience with the people around me. And now as a caregiver for my 77-year-old mother who is adjusting to life as an amputee, that lesson is being reinforced daily. This is a new chapter for all of us, especially for her. It's a work in progress. And I have to remind myself that just like baking, there are no shortcuts. None. Sometimes life forces you to pause and to let things unfold at their own pace. And just like in the kitchen, if you trust the process, the results will be worth it. Next, I will talk about the grit framework for resilience. So the G is for growth mindset. Learning from failure. Every L is a lesson. A perfect example of learning from failure happened during my time on Netflix Blue Ribbon Baking Championship. I was known for making pies, but when it was time to deliver, my pie didn't turn out as planned. It was disappointing, especially on a national stage. But instead of dwelling on the loss, I took it as a lesson. That moment pushed me to perfect my craft even more. When I got home, I made a redemption pie in honor of my dad, proving to myself that I could bounce back and reflect on my resilience. Every setback is a setback. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. I'm going to say that again because I stumbled. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. And that's the power of a growth mindset. Every L, loss, letdown, or low point is really a lesson that helps you get better for what's next to come. The R stands for resilience, bouncing back when life knocks you down. You didn't come this far to quit. Not at all. You have to keep pushing. So a powerful example of resilience in my life was experiencing the back-to-back retinal detachments. The first one was already a challenge. I temporarily lost vision in my left eye, which meant I couldn't bake, drive, or take care of my daily responsibilities the way I was used to. But that didn't stop me from competing. After recovering from the first detachment, the second detachment hit while I was in the hospital with my mother, who was undergoing surgery to become an amputee. At that moment, I could have let frustration and fear confuse me, but instead, I reminded myself, you didn't come this far to quit now. I leaned on my village for support, adjusted my daily routines, and embraced patience, something that I've always struggled with. I couldn't bake for 2 months, but I used that time to plan, reflect, and strategize for the future. That setback didn't stop me, it made me more determined. Resilience isn't about avoiding hardships, it's about getting back up every time life knocks you down. And if you learn anything, it's that you always get back up. If you learn anything, it's that you always get back up. I is for intention, moving with purpose and clarity. When you know your why, you won't let fear stop you. Another example of moving with purpose and clarity was when I decided to leave my stable career at NYU and move to Virginia. It wasn't an easy decision at all. I had built a career in higher education, bought my first home in New York at 34, and had a steady paycheck. A steady bi-weekly paycheck. But after leaving an abusive relationship and becoming a single mother, I knew I needed to create a better, healthy environment for my son and myself. I didn't have everything figured out, but I knew my why. My son, he deserved a happy, safe childhood, and I needed space to heal and rebuild. That clarity gave me the strength to walk away from everything familiar and start fresh. And because I moved with intention, doors started opening. I found my passion for baking again, built Kimmy Cakes RVA. I won multiple state fair awards and even landed on Netflix, Blue Ribbon Baking Championship. When you move with purpose, even the scariest changes can lead to something greater you ever imagine. And the T, trust. Believe in yourself and the journey. God's plan is bigger than anything you can imagine. You can have a 5-year or 10-year plan, but God has already mapped out the journey for you. I've learned that over the years. I have to believe in myself, surrender control, and just trust the process. Positivity attracts positivity, and faith will always open doors you never even knew existed. I thought my path was set. I was going to be a professional dancer, move to LA, and open a dance studio. You couldn't tell me that I wasn't going to be the next Missy Elliott backup dancer. My entire master's thesis was designed as a blueprint for that dream, and that dream was to be a dance studio owner. But God had other plans. Instead of choreography and stages, I found myself in higher education, mentoring students, and making an impact in ways I never imagined. And then, just when I thought I had settled into that life, another shift happened. The pandemic led me back to baking, a passion I had to put on the back burner for years. That detour turned into an award-winning business, a Netflix opportunity, and a whole new calling I never saw coming. Never saw coming. Looking back, every redirection was a setup for something greater. I may not have the dance studio I envisioned, not yet, but I still move with rhythm. Only now it's in the kitchen, mixing up flavors, creating memories, and inspiring others. So trust the process, even when things don't make sense. Even when the road looks uncertain, God's plan is always bigger than what we can imagine. Practical strategies for resilience. So I do morning affirmations, and I'm pretty sure maybe some of you all have your morning affirmations as well. So a couple of them, I would say I am enough, because sometimes as myself, sometimes I feel like I'm not enough. And I'm pretty sure some other women here can, relate. And also, I'm becoming the woman that I prayed for. So everything that I want, that I manifest, that I prayed, I'm becoming that person. And I can say honestly, I'm reusing my vision board from last year because I'm still working towards those same goals. I wasn't excited about making new ones because nothing felt different. I didn't feel like I needed to do a new vision board for 2025. I kept seeing the same visions I had already set for myself in 2024 because I felt like I didn't achieve them. So for me, I'm going to keep pushing and going until, I achieve those goals. It's the truth is I just didn't, I don't feel fulfilled yet. And until I do, I'm staying focused on what I started. And that was that vision board plan from last year, 2024. I'm focused on that this year and I'm going to knock it out the park. Always surround yourself with the right people because your circle matters. If they're not clapping for you, I'm going to need for you to step out and find a new room because that's just not the room for you. Listen, because my family and my best friends are always rooting for me. They stand 10 toes down for me. They believe in me when I don't believe in myself. And when I have self-doubt, my best friend is in my ear just pushing me. And at the end of our conversations, I'm just so happy that I have her because she just pours life into me. And those are just the type of people that you need around you. If they're not pouring life into you and they're draining like life out of you and they're not positive, they're just not, that's not your people. You need to find new ones. You need to find new ones. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but you need to find new ones. So the ones that believe in me and are cheering for me and rooting for me, those are the type of people that you want in your corner as well. I'm telling you, you want those people in your corner. Giving yourself grace, healing and growth takes time. We live in a world that glorifies instant results, instant success, instant healing, instant transformation. But real growth does not happen overnight. Healing takes time. Progress takes patience. And sometimes the biggest act of strength is simply giving yourself grace along the way. I've had to learn this firsthand. After experiencing loss, setbacks, and challenges that felt impossible to overcome, I wanted to bounce back immediately. I wanted to push through, keep moving, and pretend that I was okay. But I wasn't. Healing doesn't work that way. It's messy. She messy. It's unpredictable. And some days it feels like you're taking one step forward and then you take 2 steps back. Take that 1 step forward and 2 steps back. Whether it was rebuilding my life as a single mother, navigating grief, or even adjusting after my retinal detachments, I had to learn to be kind to myself. I had to remind myself that I am not defined by my struggles, but how I choose to keep going. And I had to accept that growth is a journey, not a race. So if you're in a season where things feel heavy, breathe. I'll do it again. Because I feel like I'm in a season that's a little heavy right now. Just give yourself permission to heal at your own pace. Extend yourself the same compassion you'd give a friend. I'm going to say that again. Extend yourself the same compassion you'd give a friend. Every step forward, no matter how small, is still progress. Trust that in time you will bloom. Say it again, a little louder for the people in the back. Every step forward, no matter how small, is still progress. Trust that in time you will bloom. So resilience is like baking. It's all about getting the right ingredients, plus the right measurements, and just trusting the process. Embracing reinvention and walking in your purpose. Everything I create is a reflection of my journey, just like everything you create in life reflects you. I grew up in the 80s in Southside Jamaica, Queens. Queens get the money, a place that demanded resilience. Life wasn't easy, but it taught me the power of perseverance. As a single mother, I've had to navigate challenges head on, ensuring that every step I take sets an example for my child. When I made that Mickey Mouse cake for my son's first birthday, I didn't realize that moment would spark something in me. Baking became my therapy. It gave me purpose at a time when I felt lost. As I continued baking, I wanted to honor the woman who taught me the power of food and love, my grandmother. Her pound cake recipe was a staple in our family, a taste of home and tradition. So I took that recipe, entered it into the Virginia State Fair, and I won the blue ribbon in 2021 and 2022. That moment it just wasn't about the award. It was about reclaiming my strength, proving to myself that I was capable of more than my struggles. I named that cake Dear Mama after the song that my brother produced for the late great Tupac Shakur, and I named it that as a tribute to my grandmother's legacy. So I want to talk about letting go of fear. Fear has a sneaky way of keeping us stagnant. It tells us we're not ready, we're not good enough, or that an opportunity isn't meant for us. But sometimes we seem, what seems too good to be true is actually just right on time. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes what seems too good to be true is actually just right on time. Let me tell you a quick story. So one that almost stopped me from being here today. I never applied for the Netflix Blue Ribbon Baking competition show. A casting agent reached out to me and I was convinced it was a scam. Because let me tell you, how often do opportunities like this just land in your IG messages? All these people keep scamming. You have all this different mailbox, spam, and you see these messages, and it's just nothing but spam. You have no clue. You don't know these people. My first instinct was to ignore it and to just play it safe. But something told me to dig a little deeper. Amongst my friends, I'm known as the find out-ologist. Because let me tell you, I'm going to find out everything. They'll give me a first name and I will report back with the person's address, phone number, social security, date of birth, and the place of employment. Like, I'm going to give it all. Like, quit playing. I'm going to give it all. You ask me to do a job, I'm going to do it. In my past lifetime, I wanted to be a detective. So I digress. I did my research, took a chance, and the next thing I knew, I was on a national stage showcasing my passion. What if I had let fear win? What if I had ignored that message and kept playing small? I would have missed out on an incredible experience that pushed me to grow, tested my resilience, and introduced me to people I never would have met otherwise. Fear doesn't protect us. It limits us. So I want you to think about where fear might be holding you back. Is there an opportunity you've been hesitating on? A dream you keep putting off? Let today be the day you choose courage over comfort, because on the other side of fear, that's where your breakthrough is waiting. Manifestations and actions. So this is huge for me. Faith without works is dead. Pray about it, but also put in the work. I'm a firm believer that if you want something, you have to speak it into existence. In 2021, I declared to my brother that Kimmy Cakes would be a household name. I wanted everybody, and I mean everybody, to know about me and my desserts. Now, you want to hear something funny? If you said no, I'm going to tell you anyway. So you're just going to have to listen. During the last week of December 2022, my best friend and I had a vision board party. It was our way of mapping out 2023 and honestly celebrating a night out, a night without the kids. Listen, mama need a break and a glass of wine too. On my vision board, I put a picture of a girl in the kitchen in front of a camera. My goal was to show up more on social media and build a stronger presence. But let's be real, that didn't happen. I didn't get behind the camera much, not at all. I don't like being on camera unless I'm hitting a good Missy Elliott 8 count. But here's the thing. I did manifest my presence. It just wasn't limited to social media. Instead, in 2023, I was cast in that brand new Netflix series. If you've seen the show, you know I showcased my desserts and hit a few steps along the way. And as I'm speaking to you right now, it actually just hit me. I did achieve something big. I've always wanted to dance on a big stage, and the entire world saw me. It may not have been behind Missy Elliott, but I was the headliner of this tour, okay? Did you catch that? Did you catch that? So what is one thing that you've been scared to pursue? What is one thing that you've been scared to pursue? If you have a pen and paper, just jot that down real quick. One thing that you've been scared to pursue. So whatever that is, your purpose is waiting on you. So I'm gonna need for you to just go ahead and step into it. Just pursue it. Just step right in. Just step in. Just actually dive right in. Just dive. So as I come to a close, I just want to let you all know that you are built for this. Every setback, every tear, every no, it's all leading you to a bigger yes. You don't have to figure it all out. Just take the next step. You don't have to figure it all out right now. Just take the next step, and things will start falling into place. So I have a call of action for you. Do you have a pen and paper? If not, hurry up and grab one. Got your pen and paper? All right, great. I challenge you to write down one thing you're going to do this week to step into your purpose. Again, I challenge you to write down one thing you're going to do to step into your purpose. It could be more than one. It could be 2 or 3, whatever you decide. So write that down. Write that down and focus on that for the week. At this time, I would like to thank you all for taking this journey with me today. Life has thrown its fair share of challenges my way, but through faith, resilience, and a whole lot of grit, growth mindset, resilience, intention, and trust, I've turned my struggles into something beautiful. Ladies, if there's one thing I want you to take away from today, it's this. You are stronger than you think, more capable than you know, and worthy of every dream that you have. Life will definitely throw challenges your way, but every setback is just setting you up for an even greater comeback. Again, every setback is setting you up for an even greater comeback. Give yourself grace. Healing and growth take time. Trust your journey, even when it doesn't make sense. Speak life into your dreams and move like they're already yours. You deserve happiness, success, and peace. Don't let fear, doubt, or anyone else tell you otherwise. Because if they do, they're just trying to rain on your parade, and no rain over here. We marching. So, and remember, the best version of you is the one who refuses to give up. Keep pushing, keep believing, and keep shining bright like the diamond that you are. Your story isn't over. It's just getting started. And you must trust the process. Again, you must trust the process. If you're looking for desserts that are made with love, legacy, and a little bit of soul, then Kimmy Cakes RVA is for you. I'm a dietary inclusive baker. I offer gluten-free, sugar-free, and vegan treats so everyone can indulge in something sweet. From my award-winning pound cakes to my signature cookies, every bite tells a story, one of resilience, passion, and family tradition. And the best part, we ship nationwide. So no matter where you are, you can experience the magic of Kimmy Cakes RVA. Visit KimmyCakesRVA.com. That is www.KimmyCakesRVA. So KIMMY, cakes with a K, KAKES, RVA.com to place your order today and taste what everyone has been raving about. Thank you again for being here with me. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks again, and remember, every setback is just a setup for a greater comeback. I'm going to say it one more time. Every setback is just a setup for a greater comeback. Thank you. Peace and blessings.